Coming up, we'll be joined by Jason Koop from the amazing team who put on this event year in and year out. I think it's a decade now. We are so excited to hear from him and more about the passion for live events industry that drives them. Welcome, Jason.
Thanks for having me. This is wonderful. This is quite the setup here. I'm pretty excited about this. Quite honestly, I think that creating content on the floor is critical. If you're not maximizing every opportunity to create content here, I don't think you're taking advantage of every opportunity. So this is great. I love this.
So how many years has it been, Jason? Where did you start?
10 years ago. I came here 10 years ago. We didn't do a show in 2020, in 2021, of course. But 10 years, yeah. This is, I guess, a bit of an anniversary this year. Pretty excited about this.
And so you've been back at Evergreen BrickWorks. I did see some of the content yesterday about sustainability being like a big thing in the industry to maintain relevance. But like, what are some of the other venues that you've been at that really worked well?
You mean that have focused on sustainability, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
I think sustainability is definitely. Earlier today we were talking about trends in the conference space there, and I think they talk about sustainability as being a trend. I don't know if sustainability is a trend really, or it's just a moral place to start with. I wish it was a bigger conversation, or I wish it was more important to the clients than it is. We're still at a place right now where there's a lot more talk about sustainability than there is actual action, and that's one of the things I hope we start seeing some change on. Over the next couple of years.
Since the pandemic happened, you've probably seen huge changes in the event industry. What have you seen, and I'm sure everybody has this question, what have you seen from before the industry, during and after now? Where are we at now?
Well, I think we learned a lot about content during the pandemic. I think we learned a lot about engagement during the pandemic, and I think coming out of it, we're gonna find better ways to apply those to the events that we're producing. I think lead times have come way down. I think that there was a time when you were 16 months out from an event. Now we're seeing big events come together in 6 weeks, and I think that's definitely something that's definitely changed. So I don't know if that's for the better or not, but that's definitely changed.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that where we're allowed to have an event, let's have it now, and they would plan it in 4 to 6 weeks before the law would change and the different various waves of COVID we've had in our worst case in Ontario here.
Well, you know what it was? It was, look, in the fall we really saw the social business and the weddings come back, but the corporates, they have a higher threshold. They have more concerns about liability, and so we really didn't see the corporate business come back until probably February. We started to see that change. Now, the investment is hand over fist. We're really going to see the corporate business grow. Next 16 to 18 months, I think, is going to be a real growth time for corporate events.
I hope so, because I find that they should invest in creating experiences so that employees know that they work at a great company. And so I always challenge people to not just throw the same old boring holiday party at the same place. Do something to use your events professional team to do something creative so that people that work there actually feel like they are loved and that they're working at the right spot.
I think that I think for sure you want to make sure that it's employee retention is not easy at the best of times. So if you can do something to make them feel like they're a part of this team, like they're valued, like that they're important, then certainly that's valuable for a company. I think though that we're going to see a lot more communications marketing, a lot more companies investing in events from a communications and marketing standpoint, business development, brand development, building relationships with their communities. I think that's where we're really going to see the most growth.
Yeah, building relationships with community is interesting. How do you see events shaping culture in the next few years?
Wow, I think that once you've been exposed to something,
corporate culture,
look, society is going through some big evolutions right now. The pandemic changed things. It changed economies. It changed priorities in a lot of ways, right? And so I think that I think there's going to be a lot of change over the next few years. I think, again, the way that corporations communicate with the communities they're trying to attract attention from or sell to, I think that's going to change dramatically. And I think they're going to take some of the lessons we learned about content and engagement that we learned during the pandemic and apply those over the next few years.
What are some of the lessons you've learned over content the last 3-4 years?
There was a time when you just kind of had to put it out there. It was the concept or the idea or the strategy was post every day, post 3 times a day, flood the market. Doesn't matter how great the content is, it's all about frequency and exposure. But I think that's changed. I think content has, I think there's too much of that now. And so I don't think it's effective anymore. And I think the answer is less content, but better content. Better design content, better stories that we're telling, better produced content, better technology. That's what I think is going to happen in the next few years.
How do you see the event industry changing over the next few years? Like, what should people get passionate about or stop worrying about?
Worrying about, I think we're going to see some consolidation over the next few years. I think we're already starting to see it. Look, I think the event industry is still in its infancy. I think we're still an industry that's dominated by solo entrepreneurs and small businesses and family businesses, and that's fine. But as the corporations start spending money, you're going to see more and more consolidation. We've seen it in AV with Encore. We've seen it with our title sponsor, Chairman Mills.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see a lot more of that.
Yeah. I wonder about the consolidation though, because I know as a DJ and AV company, sometimes we're told not to bring AV in because they are like there's this exclusive versus preferred line of, and sometimes clients get confused as to whether they have to go with the company or not. Yeah. And I know that some companies that shall remain nameless may be paying half of the fee the clients are paying back as a landmark fee. Yeah. There is some efficiency and professionalism in that they don't have to spend all their energy moving equipment in and out, which is less wear and tear on the hotels. But like, do you have anything to comment on
that's always a funny question.
Like, does the client win with the consolidation, or is for events
sometimes.
It's maybe smaller companies can do more boutique stuff?
I think there's always going to be those boutique companies, the smaller guys. I think creativity is an advantage in this business to be able to do one thing and do it real well. But I don't think that's going to take away from the consolidation. And I understand what you're saying about in-house companies and preferred vendors versus exclusive vendors. That's always a conversation in our industry. Is it a commission? Is it a kickback? Is it right? Are they transferring that cost to the client? They are. Those are big conversations. And I think that there's going to be a lot more of that. Even with consolidation, I do think we're going to see more competition. But I'm excited about it. I'm excited about where the industry is going. I'm excited to be in this industry. So.
That was my next question. What are you excited about?
Everything. I'm excited about myself. I'm excited about where I'm going. You know,
where's that?
More into storytelling, more into marketing, less away from producing specific events. I love content. I love telling stories. I love getting people engaged and excited about stuff. So I think that's where I'll be evolving into.
So what's the story of CSE Live going forward? Like, it started, like, where was your first one? Like, what is the story of how far you've come?
Sure. You know what? In 2019, we made a decision to move away from Convention Center because we decided that, you know, we're not the kind of show that should be in a 60,000 square foot space. We are a show that's a little bit more intimate. And so as we evolve this show away from a trade show per se, up and down aisles and out, we really want to create a community event where everybody comes, where the exhibitors are only a portion of the overall experience, right? And so we have education and we have food and we have lots of tactile things we can see, touch, taste, experience, like the VR lounge that we have in here today, which is a completely immersive experience that I'm really excited to try. That's where I see our industry going. Yeah, that's where I see this show going. More of a community event that people attend because they need to be here and networking and building groups. So. Yeah, I'm excited about where the company's going. I'm excited about where the industry's going.
So live events, hybrid, and virtual. Where have we come? Where are we going with that? Because I've had to blur that line a few times, but I'm much more comfortable in the live space. But where do you see the next little while?
You know what?
People are trying to navigate that still.
I think digital events are a challenge. I do. I think that the pandemic forced us into a digital event experience that we weren't quite ready yet. I don't think the technology was quite there yet. And I think we're going to see some dramatic improvements in digital events over the next 18 months, I do. Hybrid events, I don't know if we have a real great model for that yet.
We're doing pretty good today.
This is a little different. This is different. This is wonderful. But I think for the average event, I'm not sure that we've really fully developed what that idea is. I think a lot of people think a hybrid event is we put a camera there and you stream it, and I don't think that's a hybrid event in my world.
Yeah, you remind me of like even when TV was invented, like early TV shows were still like theater of They were like just doing theater on camera. They didn't realize that they could edit and chop and do nonlinear content.
Exactly. So, like I said, I'm pretty excited about all of this, and especially this thing here. So.
Yeah. Well, is there any final notes you have to add? Anything we're missing that we should
stretch it out?
Other than thank you for producing this awesome show that we're all going to have a great time at this week.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody
community.
for coming, the industry for coming, Allison Freeman, Chairman Mills, Evergreen, Epic, Savvy. I mean, everybody came together. It's like old home week here. Raviv, good friend of mine.
Raviv, the Burn production team. Yeah.
Burn production team, of course, Matthew. Just excited to be here. So.
Well, thanks again.